Sunday marks 21 years since the worst terror attack on American soil. 9/11 would change life as we know it and propel the U.S. into one of its longest and deadliest wars. A battle that would come to an abrupt end in August of last year. The U.S. pulled out of Afghanistan at a moment that the country was in chaos after a suicide bomber detonated his vest at the Kabul airport. 13 U.S. service members were killed, and it was a day one U.S. Marine will never forget. Correspondent Mary Murphy with our NewsNation station in New York has his story tonight.
I just felt like I needed to go and do my part. We were just getting ready to lay down and we heard the explosion.
It's been just over 1 year since U.S. Marine Glenn Osterman lost his best friend, Corporal Humberto Sanchez, in Kabul.
My world got turned upside down. I was always really big on just capturing every moment.
Now 23, Osterman finished 5 years of military service last month.
I felt like I could breathe for the first time in 5 years, honestly.
Christine Osterman's children were small when her husband, an emergency services officer, survived 9/11. When her son was deployed to Kabul in the closing days of the 20-year war.
From that night, I was afraid the plane was going to get shot down.
She says she took Xanax and didn't watch TV. Then she heard about 13 soldiers killed 200 yards from her son's tent.
Every day I think about those families. And I feel like that's like a type of survivor guilt for a mom. You know, that guilt of why was it her son and not my son?
Glenn Osterman's family attended Corporal Sanchez's funeral in Indiana and live-streamed it to Glenn. Sanchez, a proud Mexican-American.
I just want everybody to remember that freedom is not free. He was special, and now we miss him.
Glenn Osterman became a volunteer firefighter at 17 and thinks his first responder work prepared him a little for the trauma of war. And he was deeply moved by this girl in a red dress who evacuated Kabul with her family to Italy.
She kind of brought a light in our dark times. And she would always come up to us and try to hug us and high-five us. And whenever we had little snacks or food and stuff, we'd give it to her and her siblings. And I gave the one daughter with the red dress my patch from my vest so she could always remember us.
Osterman's sister has a friend, Brianna, who became Glenn's support system when it was difficult to communicate.
In the iPhone, you can do notes. So we shared notes back and forth, so I would write to him every single day. And I feel like it was good for us because we got to know each other on deeper levels.
The two are now a couple, with Glenn Osterman hoping to pursue a law enforcement career in Virginia. He also wants to stay connected to his fellow Marines.
There's guys right now that I was with that are struggling with, a lot of them have been diagnosed with PTSD and all that. Some people, it'll take 20 years till it affects you.
If I start to see signs or if he comes to me, I want him to get help. There's help out there.
Glenn Osterman says his religious faith got him through some tough ordeals.
I'm just lucky every day I'm alive. You realize how lucky you are and stuff to be in this country.
Mary Murphy, NewsNation.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.